Okay, folks, welcome back. A wee bit early. And if we didn't have anybody come by and say hi last night, we probably won't have anybody this morning, but, well, maybe we will. Well, I got up before my alarm. It's going to be going off in about 3 minutes. And I just couldn't sleep. So I got so excited about finishing the pimped python yesterday that I couldn't stop working. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So these are going to be the next two vehicles that we're doing. And we're going to do them kind of at the same time because there's some things that involve... God, this chair is... I can't stand this, all the squeaking. There's some things that are going to involve some drying time. So we have to paint some metallic things on here. We need to give this thing a wash. We need to paint this little area at the top white and give it a wash. So this thing, that's all this is going to have is going to have this front ram on the garbage truck. And that's it, and we'll weather it. And of course, we'll have to make some droppings for the garbage truck. That's the whole point in having this particular design, is it's going to drop wrecks out of the back. So that'll be the next thing that we'll do. Needs 3 of them. So obviously, it's going to be kind of like Mary Poppins' purse. They're not going to be, a third of the back. Otherwise, they'd be very small. They're going to be car-sized droppings, maybe something like this. So that we made with aluminum foil. We'll get to that probably later this evening. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do a wash, and let's go ahead and give this guy a light wash with strong tone. Okay. And if you watched any of my earlier videos, you can see that this thing has flames on it. So that should be an automatic giveaway that this is going to have some kind of flaming capability. And there's the alarm. Thank you. All right, what are we on charger? 74. Let's go plug it in. We need to start our workday definitely at 100% or in the 90s for sure. All right. So we're going to try to do this for about an hour. All right, we're just going to put some of the strong tone here. Let's grab this so we can move this thing around and not get our fingerprints on it. It's actually a beautiful color. There's no reason to redo it. It'll get toned down a bit through the whole process. Oh, you know what's happening? I know what's happening. It's reactivating some of the old paint on the brush. Let's make sure we get one that's clean. It's not a big deal, but... Wow, I really need to get in here and clean some of these brushes. Here's one that hasn't been used. This one should be good. Let's leave a little. I was wondering what that was. This has like a little, almost like a little happy face on it. It's like a little robot from the 1950s. Danger Will Robinson. That'd be the 60s. This guy needs a driver called Blaze. Whatever the driver's name, his last name should be Blaze. It's actually a pretty common theme to have many of these cars, Hot Wheels in particular, or maybe it's actually just Hot Wheels that have this issue, but that have flames on them. Seems like a pretty common thing. Lots of lowriders have stuff like that. Now, the first unfortunate thing I encountered with this rule set is that if you call this a car, it only has 2 build slots. And if you mount a flamethrower on it, then it looks like a vehicle that could potentially use a flamethrower. And I have many flamethrowers that I got. The flamethrowers are all 2 build slots. So the only offensive weapon they would be equipped with would be able to be the flamethrower, which is relatively short ranged. It could be shorter, it could be a shorter range weapon, but not by much. Now, it's got the little Hot Wheels HW symbol on it. So I didn't want to wipe that off because it's in the middle of a Flames graphics. So we're going to have to work that into the name of the vehicle. I was talking about that earlier. I was like, we'll have to call it, and the graphics look a little devilish looking. The lettering looks a little devilish. It almost looks like, that's the best way to describe it. So I'm probably, for the time being, we're going to call this Hellwater. So it's going to be definitely it's going to have a napalm dropper. The napalm dropper, I don't believe, uses a slot. Napalm dropper, no, it does use a slot. It looks like it should have something like that, but then if you have that, you can't have a flamethrower. So a base car is 12 points. The napalm dropper is only 1 point, but it takes one build slot of the 2. It's going to need to have something with oomph, or it's just going to be like not worth a damn. I'm a little hesitant to put something on the roof because as soon as you put something on the roof, it's going to cover over those nice flame graphics. So let's go ahead and do the wheels. Even though I may end up repainting these wheels and not making them golden. I don't really want this to look very gangster-like. The other thing is look and see what kind of perks are available for a flame-like vehicle. So we'll do that, but we'll do that after we, so that's going to dry right there, okay? And that's all we have left on this wash for the time being. So let's grab some white, and we're going to have to give it a brown wash that kind of matches this. Let's grab some white here. What are my white options? I know I'm out of one of them. Coal white. All right, and let's, we're going to dry brush this. Or overbrush this. And I'm not going to add black to it because this was completely white out of the factory finish. And we gave it a brown wash, so we'd like for it to match up. Just for whatever reason, this was orange first. Ah, this is the one that does not have the lid. The lid disappeared on me. Okay. Well, in that case, let's just... Wow, you'd think it'd come out easier than that. All right, that should do it. "40 years painting, over 40 years painting, and the first one that's the first lid that I lost." All right. When we close this thing up, I'm gonna want that white. I'm going to want this white as well, this lid. Doesn't mean we're not going to weather this thing or anything like that. And then, oh, look at this. What a cheap-ass brush. Artist's Loft. This is the Michaels brand. Well, it sucks. Look at this. What a pizza crap. Now, if I was going to repaint the whole vehicle, I would have done this. This is how I would have treated it, and actually probably going to look better than that. Now, hopefully when we add a brown wash to this later this afternoon, I think I got to wait until the afternoon to do that. It'll match pretty close. Now, it's got some built-in black highlighting in here already from in the corners, and this does not. So we're going to have to add them. I think it'll work. I think it'll work just fine. I'm not even going to save that thing. Screw that. Yeah, so now when we put this thing together, let's take a look at what's visible. Yeah. Okay. And there's some of the cab showing. We're just going to make the cab like it has a black interior. So we already have white here. Let's get a little bit of black. of a sudden the craft paint starts smelling funny. We'll do the front here in a little bit lighter. Okay, that should be all that's visible there. This is going to have this cow catcher on the front. Which, you know what? I know I painted this metallic. Let's go ahead and let's paint this like it was white and just got beat up. This part down here. This part down here. If I change my mind, it's easy to change back. This is one of the fuel tanks. Same thing with that, and the same thing with this. I like the rams and stuff to be like, you know, put on like with some thought. Don't have to cover all of it. Even though we're probably going to paint these things like it's made out of an I-beam. So rusty. Rusty and crusty. This is going to look great. We got lots of practice now. Hey, always make it look great. The problem is when you don't have a track record, when you've never built one, you're like, man, am I going to be happy with the results of how it looks like the very first time I do it? Well, the first time you do it, maybe not. You have to go back and do one, but now we've done several of them, so we have an idea of what we like. All right, and this guy is going to need this engine block painted. How much of this is showing? Let's see. All right, we're going to just paint all that. Again, same type of thing. Confiscate all my paper towels. God, this chair is just like, I'm ready to just throw it the fuck away. All right, we're going to use the darkest metal first. Go ahead and move this off to the side. We're going to be using you shortly. My new friend, hot glue gun. And we've got some exhaust down here as well. But we're going to hot glue gun these tires in place. And these are original tires that came with that. The darkest color is Iron Warriors. So I'm going to take some of this Iron Warriors and we're going to overbrush it. You know, these type of hot rod type vehicles, I'm personally not a fan of how they look like in real life, but they're great for this kind of vehicle. They're great for like Gaslands and things like that because they just look like it's just torque, just just anger. Yeah, we're gonna have to hot glue gun that thing down. Got some exhaust pipes over here. Actually, this one looks pretty cool. There's some of them, the traditional hot rod looking one, whatever the hell it's based on, like a 32 Ford or something like that. Like, yeah, tired of that. There's so many Hot Wheels and probably Matchbox as well that are based on that chassis that it's just like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. Oh, he's got some underside in here. All right, we'll give that a little bit of, make Marcus happy. I hope the hot glue gun works for this. Let's don't fall over on my lap. It's got like this little, let's just take that peg out. It's not allowing it to sit in where it's supposed to be. Okay, there we go. As much as I'd like for this to be epoxy, if I was epoxying this messy, all these spider webs would be a problem because they'll stick to things. Whereas the hot glue gun, after it cools, you just peel it off. It doesn't damage the paint finish. Let's see if we can get away with leaving this here. We may need to glue something else here shortly. Okay, so having that little engine in a metallic color helps a lot. So we're going to go up one level on the engine, which is lead belcher. God, this chair. I should have taken off that little seam line. Get an X-Acto knife handy. No, it's over there. Better do this before it's too late. And you can't sand this because it's soft plastic. I have a feeling this blade has been abused. That's better. I don't know what the hell's going on back here. There's some kind of grating or something, so. And I still don't know how I feel about that color. Wheels. Not rims. Everybody calls them rims, including me. They're wheels. Of course, while I'm at that, and we have this color out, let's go ahead and do the front grille too. Cute little face this thing has. I'm going to start with black. Do I have a little bit of water here? We do. All right. We're probably going to need chrome around this, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this whole light housing. Also black. Good morning, Mr. Barnes. Welcome back, man. Yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I got up earlier. I couldn't sleep anymore, let's put it that way. It's not like, I stayed up too late or anything. I just couldn't sleep anymore. It's probably because I had 2 cups of coffee last night. I wanted to get stuff done, and I did. We got the Python done. And really. I apologize for you guys that are World War II nuts that aren't interested in this car stuff. I'm not saying you're one of them. I mean, you might be, but I'm on a tear. And I know some of you guys like seeing some of the battles that we do filming live, and I just don't see the World War II stuff taking off for a while. It's just a lot of work for me, and I mean, at this rate, I can do about a new car every other day. So we can have some new vehicles, and I got plenty of them. I'm not buying the Hoffman, no work today. No, I just got up early. I actually got up at like 3:15, and I was like in bed for like an hour just surfing, and I'm like, I'm just wide awake. I might as well get up and do something with myself. It means I'm probably going to crash early tonight, so we might as well get stuff done. No, why would I want a Tuesday off? Who do you think I am, Mitch? No, but I am not going to Mitch's house tonight. There was a potential for doing that, but I had to. My daughter is needed help studying last night. She's got a big test, so I'll be on call for that. And the trucks aren't done yet. One of them is, but the other one's not done. We'll have several trucks for the next race. I don't know how I feel about these gold rims or golden rims. I mean, I like them. I don't know if I like them on this vehicle. I think I'm gonna paint them black and then do a color that matches the engine, because you have to have that color for the engine anyways. And and it's the Python that's pimped. Then there's going to be other pimped vehicles. That's kind of a theme for one of the teams. And I'm not talking about the Mexican lowriders. We're going to have the Urban Legends. It's a good name for that. It's a good name for that team, the Urban Legends. Although their working name for the time period is actually going to be Bling Brothers. But that's how your urban gangsters and stuff. There's a lot of vehicles that fit really well into that and are really cool. I think that Python's probably, like, aesthetically, it's a really good looking vehicle. That's why I picked it up. I mean, I'm like, that thing's and that's a no-name brand. It's a Maisto. It has a name, but that's like a Walmart exclusive type thing. They make some decent vehicles. Maisto makes some. The only thing I really don't like about them is the insides are just weird as hell. You've got to assemble them. They don't have an interior, which I'm fine with them not having an interior, but by not having an interior, the way that they go back together is a little haphazard. A little haphazard. Very haphazard. Let me show you the other Maisto I have here that's really pretty cool. Let's see if I can find her. We got so many. Just gets to the point where, here it is. You got so many in that if you want to get more, you got to start knocking them out. We have... if I wanted to do cops, which they're not a priority for me, there is really a lack of cop cars out there in stores. But, when I was a kid, I wanted a cop car. Look at this little guy. And this is a make-believe vehicle in some ridiculous colors. But let's take this thing out of the package. And see what they call this thing. And what is this based on? See, this looks like it's a Camaro, like a 68 Camaro-ish type thing. And they call it Roadkill. That's not a bad name, but it's a little too generic. Like, anybody could have thought about that. Now, we got some containers here. that look like they could have flame devices. But that's the problem with the flames I was really disappointed about, is you find out that this thing is we could call this a truck. Not a large truck, but a truck, because it's rather large. You know, it's not based on a pickup truck, but it could be. If we did that, that would give me a third build slot. And then that may not be a bad idea. What class does it go to? Is it still medium? Yeah, it's still middleweight. Maybe that's what I should do. Is call this a truck class vehicle, because it's kind of pickup truck sized. Doesn't have a bed on it, and that would allow me to give it a flamethrower and the napalm launcher. And it's got so many flames coming off it. It looks like it would have a napalm launcher. Let's build that. Yeah, this is cool. This is a cool little vehicle. This is the Walmart exclusive. Roadkill GT. Now the front of it looks pretty awesome. HW. Hot whammy. HW. If we call her a truck, now she has 3 build slots. She's 12 points? 15 points. Okay, she's gonna have a napalm dropper. Which only costs 1 point but uses a slot. The slots just keep you from building something that just has all kinds of shit on a small body. It gives you a reason to build larger vehicles. And if we add a flamethrower is relatively short range. And I would add a ram on it, but I don't want to fuck up the front. Like I like the look of the front of it. So a flamethrower is 2 build slots and it's 4 points. So it's cheap. So all my build slots are consumed. Okay, and we're at 20 points. So if we put this in the 27-point crew, we've got 7 points to add to stuff. Now the problem with this vehicle at this point is it's got no long-range weaponry. You're going to have 2 pistols. It's going to be able to shoot 360 degrees. Well, we could put the flamethrower on a turret. But the problem with putting a flamethrower on the turret is I don't really want to block these flames. Do I have a flamethrower I can mount back here maybe on a turret? Let's see. Let's see what flamethrowers I have. Yeah, something like this. I mean, this is a minigun, but something like this. That's actually pretty cool, but that looks like something to be on an A10. All right, let's look at our flame-throwing weapons, which I may not have pulled out of. It's baggy. Because I got them and then I'm like, okay, well, I don't need that many flame-throwing weapons. Okay, here's the miniguns. Here's the machine guns. Here's turreted machine guns. Damn it, man. I really need an assistant. And somebody I can like slap around. Like when I have a hard day, just bonk them on the head. They'd be paid for that. Wouldn't it be good to have a little midget that follows you around when shit goes wrong? You just knock him on the head. You know, like some midget that was like a bad person in a bad past life, you know. So it's like they had it coming to them, you know. Not some innocent person. What the hell is the flamethrowers? Good Lord. Miniguns, miniguns, miniguns. MGs. Snap there. Oh mein Gott. I gotta use this one on one of them soon. It's got rockets. I mean, it only has two, but that looks pretty cool. No, they're obviously not here. You know, somebody follows me around when I'm doing something in the wrong place. Like slap the top of my head. Don't put that there, dumbass. You're never going to find it later. No. 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 Nope. Nope. Well, you know, the purpose in doing this in the morning is so something goes right in the morning before I go to work. Not extra frustration! Wow, where the flaming crap are they? They're in a little baggie. And there's no reason they wouldn't be here on the table. I guess I'll look down here, and you shouldn't be down here. Oh, I finally picked this thing up. I've been eyeing this so many times. This is just some kind of generic American muscle car, but it almost looks like a less cartoon version of this one. No. Yeah, it shouldn't be down. It shouldn't be down here. Did it fall on the ground? Oh, I need to drink coffee. You could come up with something better than roadkill. Absolutely. It's too generic. It's a great name, but it's a name that everybody's thought of. You know? So, for instance, for the redneck vehicles, I haven't built these. I got a puddle hopper, rust bucket, dirt dauber, and spit stain. Although spit stain may be just the name of the driver. I have another one of my urban legends. I got to find a Chrysler 300. It's going to be Trifidi. And it's going to have 350 caliber machine guns. That's the whole point. So I got to put it on something actually big enough that it can have 3 build slots. Because each heavy machine gun is going to use that. So probably a front back and a 360. Something, you know, something turreted. All right. I'm about to get nuclear. That's a Ram. That's a Ram. That's machine guns. Machine guns. Another Ram. Well, this is a really minimalist Ram here. They're in a baggie. They're in a baggie like this. Because I haven't used a single one of them. Let's pull this stuff out. Shouldn't be here, but no. No. Must have fallen down. It makes no sense. That makes no sense in the world. Here's another one of these urban vehicles. This thing's beautiful. This is like the most beautiful of all the paint schemes on every one of the vehicles. I love this one. It's like a reflective green. It's beautiful. I got this thing a long time ago. That's why I wanted to switch out the wheels on the Python, because a lot of the vehicles from Maisto have these same kind of rims. And I don't want every vehicle to have the same rim. It's like boring, you know? That van is gorgeous. Okay. Back to the frustration. All right, it has to be there or here. That's the only two places it can be. Okay, and it's a relatively large bag. There's nowhere I would have put it in. Not in here because it didn't go on a trip with me to Mitch's house. Is it in the equipment? No, and it shouldn't be. Well, I'm not giving fucking up. Because I'm like at a standstill. Alright. There. If it had fallen out of the back, it'd be back there. And it's not there. What's this on the ground? I mean, that's not it, but... Oh, it's just a resin piece of resin from something else. Okay. Let me look in a place it shouldn't be. The garbage. Like, I don't know why the hell it would be here. What the fuck, man? I'm pretty damn organized. Okay. It's time to clean up then. There's your sign. It's time to clean this area up. All right. Brushes, brushes. I like that van. It looks awesome. It looks awesome. It looks awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to take these pieces that are extra and I'm going to put them in my extras box. There's rams go over here. This is, by the way, Ben's idea to take some I believe it was Ben's idea to take some aluminum foil. I took some aluminum foil at lunchtime yesterday and I shoved it inside the body of this. Now, unfortunately, there's some center pegs that were kind of an issue, but I didn't realize we had some aluminum foil that came in like sheets. I don't cook or do any of that stuff, so it's news to me. We have some aluminum foil that already comes in sheets about this size. So I took one, and that's great because I'd fight with, well, it's not saran wrap. Saran wrap is the work of the devil, okay? Aluminum foil, I can cut and not like fight myself with it. But it comes with aluminum sheets about this size, so I just folded it a couple of times and shoved it in here. And this is what I got. So this is just in a rush. You know, I'm going to take one of these and paint it black and dry brush it with colors that maybe it'll work for a wreck. That was Ben's idea. I feel a lot better doing that than taking a $1 vehicle and crushing it to death. Although I do get tires out of it, I just feel bad about destroying a vehicle. You know, there could be some, if the vehicle was already destroyed, it's one thing. But taking a perfectly good vehicle and crushing it, I mean, there's some kid that could use that as a toy. I don't know. I get sentimental about some things, you know? And I don't like taking something that's in good shape and destroying it. You know? So I was actually hoping to get, when I went to the flea market, some of these vehicles that are basically look like they've been run over, that were like damn near free, and I didn't do the damage to them, so I wouldn't feel so bad about it. But no, there was none of that. All right. Well, that means this evening will go better because all this stuff will be picked up. Shit happens for a reason, and sometimes it's the wrong reason. It's here somewhere. And there's a lot of different flamethrowers. I got them, like, man, I got like 16 different flamethrowers and the damn 3 build slots. Like, what am I going to do with that? 2 build slots, sorry. I got a guy I used to work with. His work area at his desk. I didn't care because it's his desk. I don't know how he thought straight. I mean, it was absolutely insane. You go in there and like everything is screaming at you at the same time. I'm like, I can't work in that kind of environment. I can't work in that kind of environment. That's all right. We needed to do this anyways. This goes in the pieces parts. These World War II vehicles are moving on. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, we're not working on them anytime soon. Get the F out of here. So we're not going to go back to it. And I think I am going to go to the model show next weekend, or this weekend coming up. And believe it or not, what I want to go look for is Japanese decals. I want to get some Rising Suns. Because I want to put one on Hayabusa. I don't want to hand paint even a big meatball. I don't want to hand paint it. It's just going to take too long trying to get it the right shape. You know, going back and forward a little bit more over here, it's just not worth it. So I'll have to look and see. You know, there's definitely people that sell lots of decals, even in a smaller show. So that shouldn't be an issue. All right, we've got What's this? That's the stuff for the Python. You know what? That aluminum foil method is the first step of making the crushable cars they use in monster movies. Is that right? Well, that's Ben's idea, so he gets total credit for it. I got nothing to lose. So, this is the glass for this guy. Let's keep that around. And that's why I don't like an area that has all this stuff permanently on it. Because it's screaming at you like, hey, what's that? Oh, it's nothing. It's just all this slop on your paint area. I'm like, no, I want to be able to go, I can sleep now. You know, you're fighting I have enough noises in my head. I don't need ones on my paint area. All right. This is better, but we still didn't find it. We will find it. And that's one of the reasons that I really like this house, is because the rest of this house is nothing like this. It's like orderly. You can find stuff. It's like a Zen experience. I mean, you got to stay on it, but. And I don't like going to people's houses where things are upside down. Like, you go to some people's houses and you leave half your stuff there because you have to cart everything there, and there's so much noise there you end up leaving some of it with you. I'm not going to mention any names. Okay, there's no way it's down here. It isn't. Okay. All right. Wife is staying away apparently one more day. She was going to come home tonight. Now she's coming on Wednesday. Not that that would really keep me from doing anything. I don't have one of those kind of wives. That's why I'm still married. All right. Let's get all this stuff over here. This is the computer desk side. And this was on the other side. And I have all the weapons laid out here because we were pulling things out. So let's pack them up. We will find this. All right. Let's pack up the mouse. This is where we set the laptop up when we're... Oh, no, it's not time to bend over yet. I still got a couple hours. Power pack for the computer. And to do an aluminum foil method on a 1/25th scale car and top it off with a thin coat of resin for paint, and bam, you got a crushable car. Well, that's better than buying model kits. Is that like on something they did a long time ago, or are they still doing that these days? All right. Let's see what we got here. This are things to paint for the game that can be used for objects. I'm going to throw them in a bag with other items like that I have. And the other items that I have like that are Atchison's Creations. This is from Miniature Building Authority. They have, oh, I'm glad I found this. This is the harpoon for the Wambulance. I'm going to leave that away because it's very delicate. I could see it breaking. So we got some extra tires here, some refuse buckets, along with some packs of things that Mitch, or especially Luke, can drive through and go careening. Alright. Rams. There's one. Armor plates, armor plates, armor plates, armor plates, armor plates. These are all weapons. Ram. More wheels. These are the wheels from the Rabbit. Because we ended up putting the wheels on the Land Rover on the Rabbit. Stan Winston does online classes, and they had a monster movie, one that I watched in the class that teach you how to make buildings, cars, and other stuff for monster movies. When we were doing the Hero Click stuff a couple of years ago, not a couple of years ago, probably 9 years ago. That's a game that's in desperate need of some tinkering with. I think lots of stuff is there, but there's a lot of things that could be improved on it. It's just too predictable on who's going to go next, for instance. And I don't care about the collectability of it. You know, I want to, run a certain team. It's a fun game, but it definitely needs to be tinkered with. Not a whole lot, but anyhow, there's a company that makes it might be Drive-Thru RPG, that they make like science fiction style buildings that are made out of cardstock that look like they would go really well with the figures. And they make like cars and stuff that are like two-dimensional. So like maybe like imagine like a fold-up car, but they look good. But they're still, they look better than that damn Tesla truck, okay? But they're shaped like that. They've got a bunch of angles. They're all angular, right? And they look pretty good. I want to say it's Drive-Thru RPG, or Drive-Thru RPG is one of them, and then the other one that's the same. You can tell it's the same maker. The same purveyor of that one as well, because it's the same style it's done in. I forget which one it is. That's the one that Face of Battle you buy your stuff in. I can never remember the name of it. There's no flamethrowing weapons here. Or is this one of them? I'll be a dick mother. I don't care as long as I find it. It's not like I'm doing something that... Where's that little round bastard? Yeah, this is... That's a nice weapon for a flamethrower that's on a turret. But that's short. Okay, so I guess the flamethrowers are in here somehow. So these are all machine guns. These are all machine guns. Okay, This is some huge fucking rifle. That's a minigun, 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 machine gun, minigun. Machine gun, minigun, 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 minigun. Extra ammo. This can go in the garbage. Machine guns, turret, mini, mortar, mini, double turreted machine gun, double machine gun. I think that's a flamethrower. This is some laser thing, another mortar, machine gun or something like that. I think maybe I don't have a set of flamethrowers. I have a set that has a mix of weapons. And in that mix of weapons, there are some flamethrowers. Like these 4 right here. And this attachment on the back. And that's a spacey gun. And that attachment on the back. Rockets. Okay, so this is what we have to choose from. So of all of these, this one looks the most like a turreted weapon. Now, it's not up off the base of the thing, but I can mount it on something like this. And I'm going to take a fuel tank with me. And I'll take one of these with me as well. Alright, so mission accomplished. And I cleaned my area. And what time is it? 6:06. We're good. Alright. Alright, let's flip back over to the other side. Drive-through war games, that's the one, man. Yeah, they're the same maker. You could tell that whatever company, it's the same one because their display. And I actually like the way that those websites look like. Yeah. What's it called? Drive-through? Yeah. Drive-through. And what's the other one? Drive-through. I guess are they both drive-through? Maybe that's what it is. They're both drive-through. Drive-through RPG and drive-through war games. Yeah, they're definitely the same. The same company owns them both. And there's some good stuff on there. There's some things that I think are a pretty good value. Maybe not everything, but there's some things that are pretty good value on there. All right, so if we mount this flamethrower on here, we had another option, didn't we? Oh, we had that little turreted one. That's like, this would be really cute as a turreted weapon. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Because we don't have a lot of points on this thing yet. Where's our little thing we were doing the math on? That now we've lost that. Oh, Christ on a crutch. Here it is. I'm telling you, that's why I'm like, these people that have this insane, messy work area, I'd go nuts. I'd find another hobby. Okay. If we take this flamethrower and multiply it by 3, which is what the turret will do, now this is 12. So this is 12 plus 1 is 13. Plus 15, it's too many points. Because I want to give this guy a perk. Now, if we fall into the next category up, we're starting looking like 30-something points. And I'm not totally opposed to that, but I feel like this is kind of a weak vehicle to be in the 30-something point category. Gonna go grab some breakfast. Okay. Yeah, I haven't even had my breakfast yet. So that's 12. The napalm dropper is 13. The base truck is 15. Now we're at 28. But it'll allow us to add another perk. Now, if I had something that looked like an exploding ram, I would consider it doesn't take up any space. An exploding ram, I could put it on the back, and it could be something ridiculous like this bomb or something like that. Right? You just take this bomb. Of course, it's not a big chunk of resin here. But we could reduce this and put the bomb on the back, for instance. I don't think I'm going to do it on this vehicle because it doesn't really go with the look of the vehicle, but that's definitely an alternative. And an exploding ram keeps somebody from running into you at the start. Okay? So, we could add a nitro to it. It doesn't add any space. A nitro, I believe, is 2. A nitro is 6. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot for just one burst. So now we're 15, 16. And I'm actually okay with it being in the 30-something category because I got a lot of 27 vehicles. Okay. 15, 16, 28, 34. What perks could this thing have that would go with the look of this vehicle? So let's go over here to perks. That's not the same as that other one. I mean, I really don't want a bunch of vehicles having a lot of the same perks. That's one of the problems that I have with the teams. Is like, you might have something that's cool. I don't want 4 vehicles to have the same thing. It gives you a reason to play them differently. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's look at Reckless, because that looks like a reckless mobile, right? Drive angry. That's a really cool thing. In for a penny. If this vehicle has 6 or more hazard tokens, so you're going to go down, it may double the attack dice of any smash attack. So if you got a ton of hazard tokens, if you're going to wipe out and you're getting ready to ram somebody, of course this isn't a ramming vehicle, it would have a ram on the front. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. We might have to add that to the garbage truck. Well, I don't think any of these would influence what the vehicle actually looks like. So, with this being the only weapon, I feel like it's got to be turreted. Or it's going to be 2 guys shooting pistols. But if I mount it, I either screw up the whole flame look. Yeah, it may not be so much. You know, a vehicle that needs to have a lot of flamethrowers? A fire truck. If I build a fire truck does not have fire. It puts out fire. Right? That makes sense. That makes sense in my twisted mind. So maybe we should save that turret for a fire truck. Probably save this thing as well. So what's the other flaming thing look like? We're gonna have to mount this up top too, even if it fires forward. Unless you mount it like on top of one of the wheels or something like that. I don't know. Well, I'm going to go have some breakfast. I'm going to cut out and think about it. And then we'll come back and I am going to go ahead and give this thing a wash. Okay? Because I'm not going to be able to proceed with this until this thing is washed in the brown color. So let's go ahead and do that. But anyways, there's a lot of thought that gets put into these vehicles. So we don't want them different. We don't want them stupid. I mean, they may not be optimal, but not stupid. Like there's no way. This has no redeeming value whatsoever. Now this should start looking more like the regular finish of the garbage truck. More. And we want to give this same treatment to all this stuff down here. And now let's put it together to see if it looks all right. So that's going to go like that. This is going to latch underneath it. And although it's not the same tone, and I'm not sure why, we're close. It'll look fine. We got rust and we got other weathering. And then this, of course, will be on the front. Yeah. All right, folks, so that's where we're going to stop. We'll be back on